to this fabulous matrix. So today we're going to talk about souls trying to climb the frequency ladder, all right? And also trying to pull someone up with you in a relationship, whether that's going to benefit you or not. That would depend, okay? So as we entered this game, we came here for a few reasons, all right? We came here to experience this game. We came here to entertain ourselves because we're creators, so we like to entertain ourselves. And also, we came here to try to win the game. Now, when we were birthed into this matrix, obviously, we were taught and raised the way the parents were, grandparents, yada yada yada, as I mentioned before. So it made it that much more difficult to realize what you were in. It's, just the way it is. I mean, if you are being taught the same way, chances are it's going to be very difficult to acknowledge what you're in the matrix, that you're in the matrix. However, that's no excuse because self was always and will always push and prod you to learn the truth. All right, you have an inkling, like as a soul, you should have that knowing. See, something seems like it just won't let you alone. Self will just keep pushing something, whether it's small, big. At the time, it's irrelevant. The point is, self is always pushing you. Or they will put out a certain movie, or a certain event might take place to make you think that, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. What is this? And then you start to get the inkling of, I better start searching. Now it was harder back in the day because they didn't have really the internet and stuff like that, so it was a little bit more difficult to do so. So yeah, for those that did the work the lifetime before and before and before and before and so on, they worked towards pretty much having it, figured out by the time this lifetime came around. Because it is the last lifetime. That's not a scary thing, it's a beautiful thing. Just means this particular game is going to be finished. For those that want to know the truth, for those that are scared of it, don't be. Because most of you believe you only have one life here anyway. Most of you believe there's this white knight in the sky and you're going to go spend eternity with it. But that's okay, no judgment, right? Not for everybody, this channel. But don't be afraid of it, like I said. You just thought you were going to be born and then moved on and then spent the rest of the time floating on a cloud. So to say that this is the last lifetime shouldn't make much difference then. I mean, if I'm being realistic and honest, shouldn't make a difference. However, there are, like myself and other souls that figured it out with the help maybe of others, or maybe you had some push and nudges all your life and you start to figure it out on your own. It's irrelevant how, but what's important is that you know that this is a dream state, an illusion, and a reality game. That's the bottom line, all right? So for some of us, we want to climb the frequency ladder. As you'll notice in the chart, I go from 1 to 11 because that's the highest here you're gonna go in the game, and it should be where you want to be at, because 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 1 and 2 has already been shut off a long time ago. 3 and 4 is about to be shut off, and then it's going to be the 5th that we're going to reside in. If you made it to the fifth, well, you did a good job. Congratulations. And soon it'll be the sixth, and on and on and on. But you'll notice in the chart that there's different heights of ladders. Now you'll see that one's a very low one. All right, you'll see one's a little bit higher. You'll see one that's a little bit higher. You'll see another one that's carrying somebody, and I'll get into that in a little while. And you'll also see one that's at the highest level of the ladder. So what does all that mean? As we raise our frequency, we start to climb the frequency ladder, so to speak. And that's what you're supposed to do. Now, not everybody's going to do it. Not every soul can do it because, as I mentioned, they'd rather stay asleep and be ignorant to the situation on hand, which is the game. Right? As Cypher said in The Matrix, ignorance is bliss. And that's the truth. It kind of is, because some people don't want to be burdened with the little things, you know, like they just want to have their fun. They want to eat their cake and eat it too. And then, you know, punch out, mission's over, go home. They're okay with that. And that's fine, because if that's what you chose, that's what you're going to have. However, when the time comes when you come back to your true self, you're going to realize, uh-oh. What do I mean by that? It means you'll be benched. You will not play any more games. Why? The reason is because you will get other souls to follow that pattern. Alright? You will get them to think along the same way, saying, oh, well, just, you know, play hard, forget the rest. And they don't want that. They want souls that are going to push the boundaries and win the game. Each, whatever creation we come into. And it's only going to get tougher and harder than the next game. Alright? From what I understand, if one soul loses, you all lose. And that's pretty tough. What do you do with that? So, keep that in mind. But, we're not there now. We're here right now, and that's what matters. Now, I also showing where one of the souls is trying to pick up, in this case, a partner. All right, it could be your wife, could be your husband, could be a partner. You know, sex, same sex. That's, you know, nothing to be ashamed of, and you should never judge that, because it is what it is. It's in the script. Alright, so if that's what they choose, then that's what they choose, and that's fine. So, or it could be your kids, you know, on and on and on, grandparents, because it doesn't matter. The point is, does it benefit you to try and pull somebody up the frequency ladder with you? Well, not always. Because when you are rising at a rapid pace and you're doing well and you're going on your game and, you know, you're climbing and climbing and climbing, and somebody doesn't feel like they want to do it, but you're in a relationship with them, again, all relationships, as I mentioned, and they don't feel passionately as you do about it, they're not into it like you are, then it could be a problem. Because what's going to happen is you are a certain frequency, that person might be in a lower frequency, right? And now you got to kind of blend in to match somewhere. So if you're way up here and somebody's right here, you see what's happening, you have to balance out. So now the highest vibration, the highest frequency, now has to lower itself to meet that other person. Now, again, it's a choice, all right? So do with that as you will, but that's the reality of it. You will have to lower yourself to meet up and balance out, because everything here is balanced. Now, if you're in a marriage and that, and you got kids, I'm not saying you got to get rid of them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's got to be a compromise somewhere. All right. And if that's not the case, then just worry about yourself. Just go on with life and just climb. It's all internal work anyway. Just climb, climb, climb. And what's going to happen anyway is that whole situation will fall apart anyway. It will fall apart because you cannot stay in the same different frequencies. Frequency. High frequencies, high frequency. Low frequencies, low frequency. It cannot reside together. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but if you knew the price of winning, right? This is all an illusion. Your partner's an illusion. You're an illusion here. We have avatars, yes, but they're also an illusion. You're dreaming this avatar. When you look in the mirror, it's not you. It's not truly who you are. It's a self-residual image that you're looking at. So the brain is telling you, the dream is telling you, you look like this. All right? And sometimes they lie, well, not lie, but they make you see one thing and other people look at you another way. Just case in point, in the Matrix 4. Neo saw himself, what he looked like, what he thought he looked like, and to others, he was an old man. So that they wouldn't discover he was Neo. So you don't really know what you look like, except for what you think you see in the mirror. So when you're sitting there gazing and drooling over yourself, be careful with that. That's vanity. And that's a no-no as well. Not in a biblical sense, in a source sense. Alright, so when you're, drooling over yourself, thinking how beautiful or how handsome or gorgeous you are, it's not even you. It's a self-residual image. Data, essentially. I know a lot of people are going to be freaked out by that, but the truth is the truth. I found a quote, and I'd like to say it since I'm talking on this topic, is the truth does not mind being questioned. However, a lie does not like being challenged. It does not like being challenged. But I say you should challenge the lie. Meaning, find out that you're in the Matrix, find out who you are. Alright? You don't have to like the hero. You don't have to like the superhero. You don't have to like the villain. And furthermore, you don't need to choose either. But what you do need to choose is yourself. Choose yourself and stay in the neutrality. Just stay neutral. That you must choose. Or just keep playing the game as you've been playing, and ignorance is bliss. Your choice. So you'll notice, again, as I mentioned, there's the highest ladder, which was already won by somebody. And the game's been won for everybody because this soul decided to share the win with everybody. From Quartz Crystal. Her name is Judy. She's already won the game and gave back everybody their energies. So everybody technically won, but if you remain in a low frequency just the same, how you exit this game may get your attention at some point. However, However, you still can not win the overall game, but you still can win the game for yourself where you don't have to be benched. All right, you can complete your inner alchemy, and if you complete your inner alchemy before a certain event, and I talked about that in the eclipse video, so I'm not going to get into it too much today, but if you did that before that event, then you're in good shape. You're in a good place. You're in a higher frequency. And by inner alchemy, what am I talking about? That's why I said partnership, a physical partnership in this game. Okay, you have one, you're married, I get it. Fine, leave it alone if that's what you choose. If you choose otherwise, again, your choice. But inner alchemy, what it is to complete your male and your female and merge them as one. See, this is why there's a big thing going on and around the world. I'm not going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. Basically, the he, the she, I mean, because they're raising these points for you to think. So when you complete your inner alchemy, you're whole and complete. You're neither. You may still look a male or a female, all right, but your inner alchemy has completed and you are now in perfection. You're whole and complete. So you're not going to need to have any sexual urges. You won't get any sexual urges. Can you still use those parts here and there? I'm sure you probably could, but would it benefit you? Losing your energy, dropping it down again. I'm not going to give advice that you should, once in a while or don't, or I'm not here to do that. I'm just telling you the facts. The fact is, if you lose your energy sexually, you're going to drop it significantly, your frequency. Is it worth it? I don't know. But there's a lot of people that can't even go a day without it, and those are the ones that want to eat the meat and just don't care. It's sad because souls all left together knowing what we're here to do, and they just wiped themselves out. And like I said, even myself, I was one of those souls that just fell for the program hard, and I played hard. All right. But the problem with that is you lose. At the end of the day, you lose. Your frequency, and at the end of the game, you lose again. So to be the best creator, to be the best source creator, you need to lose the low frequency things and rise your frequency. Watch what you eat. Keep your sacred seed in you, your energy, your frequency. Keep it inside. Let it rise. And when it rises, it's going to connect. Stay centered. That's very important too, because you can become very unbalanced in this matrix with all the things that are going on. That's why I suggested in the last video, stop watching the news, stop watching the propaganda, stop watching all this nonsense, because everybody don't know which way they're turning anymore. So you got a problem of not knowing who you are, and then you're watching this stuff, making you more a mess than you were originally. Stop falling for it. It was all created in the matrix. I watched a wonderful, I don't always watch Joe Rogan, but it depends on what the topic is, and I may watch it once a year, but in this particular case, he was speaking with Terrence Howard, the actor, a very, very great actor, and the things that came out of his mouth about what life is, the sacred flower, and he debunked it all. I mean, he was physicist at heart all his life. The acting just came. We're all actors here, but I mean, as an actor, he was pushed by his mother to be an actor, even though we're all actors. Keep saying that, but it's the truth. But his true passion was physics. And this blew me away, man. Like, it's 3 hours long, 3 hours and 8 minutes. If you ever find the time to watch, listen to this man, what he has to talk about. It's all about creation, and he dismantled the flower of life and debunked everybody what they've been saying all along. My jaw was dropped, all right, when I watched this. It was like, wow. However, keep in mind, everything you see, everything you hear is part of the Matrix, all right? So whether you agree with his philosophy, his views on it, or not, shouldn't be relevant. I'm just saying, it's just mind dropping when somebody has that compassion towards something and tries to help create something better. So, again, Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard, the actor. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. Again, it's the Matrix, so go through everything with a fine tooth, a comb, because everything's the Matrix. So it's been all pre-written out before we got here. Keep that in mind. I'm just using this as an example. But if everybody was thinking along those lines as he's speaking, I mean, I've never seen so much intelligence come out of one man's mouth. And there's also females, with intelligence that come out of their mouth. It's like mind blowing. Excuse me. Put on the air conditioning, and now it's very dry. So, going back to what I was saying about carrying somebody, as you see, you have to decide, is it beneficial for you or not. I wouldn't make any drastic decisions, but if you choose to climb the ladder, you just focus on that and the rest will take care of itself. But you got to be prepared for the outcome, because if you're not, right, it all depends how hardcore you are about getting to the top of the ladder, to frequency 11. Each of those frequencies, by the way, have subplanes, right? Each one, so it's like frequency 1 has a subplane of 9, and frequency 2 has a subplane of 9. Well, they did before they got closed off, and 3 and 4 is being closed off. So we'll just say frequency 5. If you're not by the frequency 5 today, you might want to get there. And each one of those have a subplane of 9, all the way up to the 11. If you put those two together, should sound familiar. It's a tough game, I'll give you that. It's tough, especially if you have no clue what in the world is going on here, right? You think everything's just you're being punished by God for some reason, stuff like that. It's an outside source thing to blame. You are the god and goddesses. I've mentioned that many, many, many times. And ironically, in that video I'm talking about, he mentioned the same thing too. You are the creator of your life. Your reality is your responsibility, not mine, not somebody else's. It's yours. But Not everybody wants to do it, you know. They rather do their thing and that's it, as I mentioned again. But it's important that you understand. That's why I'm saying it over and over, because just examine your situation, examine your life. At this point, if you have no inkling what's this really is, you got a long way to climb. But that's okay. If that's what you choose, no judgment. I'm not saying you're a bad person, or I'm not saying that kind of stuff at all. No judgment. Not everybody was meant to wake up. Air quotes. So tough. It's really, really tough. But at the end, the reward is so great, so rewarding, that you may not want to miss out. You know, there's going to be so many disappointed Source players when they get back and realize, oh boy, I blew this one. Because you will be benched. You'll be recognized as a non-performing player, meaning you didn't accomplish the job, you didn't finish the mission you came here to do. Yes, we were here to experience as well. Experience everything in this life form. Everything. The beauty, the food, the creation of Mother Earth, and the arts, you know, music, art, paintings, everything. We're like a sponge, all right? Think of yourself, well, we're much more than that, but we're like sponges. We just absorb everything. We just come here to experience and absorb everything. Because when we go back, then we unleash what we've learned, what we saw. We talk about our creation. It all keeps, there's a record of what you did and said, everything. Everything you said and done, it records. It's recording. So be that sponge, in a metaphoric speaking. Absorb, 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 experience, 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 but most importantly, create, create, create. Create your best life for yourself. It's imperative. It's a must. There's no way around it. If you're in between right now in transition, like you're starting to realize, you know, there's something wrong here, or it's indifferent, doesn't make sense, there's always some nudges. Self will always push you. It pushed me. It even pushed me to do these videos, ironically. And I enjoy doing them. I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm trying my best to get the message out. Alright, so it's tough. It's a tough call, man. To awaken or not to awaken, metaphorically speaking, of course. You know, people don't want to do the work anymore. Like, everybody's so tired. The souls are tired, alright? But I'm here to tell you, just hang on a little bit more. We're almost at the finish line. And then you can go back home to Source and just be your true self again. Bliss, perfection, the highest frequency you could ever be. Just hang on a little bit longer. We've played this game for so long, it's so hard to even realize who and what you are anymore. I get it. And there's some souls that are so advanced that understand this brilliantly. The creation of this, how important it is to know thyself. You must know thyself. You need that guidance. You need that guidance within. And then self will never, never, never let you down or try to harm you in any way. So if you're trying to push anyway too fast to open up, it won't allow it anyway, because it will not allow you to get harmed. Now, for those that are, just watching for the first time and you want to know how to get the frequency up, well, first start with what you're eating, what you're consuming, and that goes for food, alcohol, smoking, drugs, watching things that are inappropriate on TV. By that I mean even in the bedroom stuff. I'm not going to say it here, but you know what I'm talking about. Leave that garbage alone. Don't eat death. Eat living food. I don't know, it cut out there for a bit, but I'll repeat myself. Stop eating death. Eat living food. Monitor what you put in your mouth. Do the research how you can detox. I'm not giving doctor suggestions here because I'm not a doctor, so therefore you do the research and therefore you decide what you do for yourself. But start getting that garbage out of you. And it's not going to be an over weekend thing that I did a 3-day or 2-day detox and sorry, doesn't work that way. But day by day by day, you will take the layers of the onions off. Depending on how much things you did to yourself over the years will depend on how quickly you get there in the first place. If you were hardcore into everything, well, it's going to take a little longer. Much longer. But don't let that discourage you. Alright? Don't let it discourage you. Put your game face on. Get your soul into the game. It is in it, whether you like it or not. That's the thing. You're in it, so might as well do what you need to do here. You might as well complete it. Alright, well, I'm going to let that go. And be the greatest version of yourself. I'm going to cut it short because this is acting up again. They don't want the truth out. They'll do anything to stop it. So I will leave it there. Do your best. Know who you are. And we'll talk soon. Not literally, but in the video. Alright, take care.